Welcome to Coffee for Your Soul, a sacred space where hearts exhale and souls sip slow. This is where comfort meets clarity and the Holy Spirit brews something beautiful. One word, one prayer, one story at a time. So whether you're driving, journaling, or just need a moment to breathe, you've pulled up a seat at the right table because here, your story matters, your healing matters, and baby, your soul is about to be stirred. So pour up, lean in, and let's grow together, one sip at a time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. It's your girl, Lady Q. And today I am just excited just to be in this place, in this present space, knowing that I've endured a lot. Have you ever found yourself in a space where you just like, okay, I've endured, I've gone through, I've struggled with some things, and you're just grateful to be still in the moment. And so I just want to welcome you to Coffee for Your Soul, where we just not just sitting around talking. It's more like soul therapy, a fresh pour of truth. I need you to grab your mug and pull up a seat. Whether you drink coffee or whether you drink tea, it's up to you. Even if you want to pour water in your cup, it's okay. Just grab your mug and pull up and let's talk for a minute, and thinking about my week and all that I've gone through and realized that I've dealt with some broken and some bruised situations. I've dealt with a lot of situations in my life, and so because I'm coming up on 50, it is causing me to really reflect on the people that has been in my life, the people that has impacted my life situations, where I am now, what I've gone through, how much I've grown just in the last 50 years. And that's from birth until now. And so I'm absolutely amazed and I'm excited. I'm amazed that um the responses that I've gotten, the people that I've talked to about turning 50 and what they've gone through and their experiences of where they were before they turned 50 and how there's a shift, because it's something about 50 years old that we begin to shift. And so reflecting on some things in my life and things that I've gone through, but also gleaning from those who have already walked the journey that can help me even walk it out even the more. It's always good to lean on people that have already been through it, that they can help you, that if it's something that you're going through, it can help ease it. If it's something you're celebrating, how much more you can appreciate the celebration. And so today, though, sometimes we in a space where we just need to just cry out and we need healing and we need help and we're going through some things and we're saying, Lord, I need your help. And sometimes we're just not in an okay space. Sometimes we need people that we got to lean on to help us get through our situations, to help us deal with where we are. And so I really want to talk about that space of being in a place where you are crying from your soul. There's a soul cry that is happening. And so when I think about that space and crying out to the Lord and being in a space of having a soul cry, just trying to figure things out, right? Just trying to figure out, okay, well, Lord, I need your help. And so with that, I reflect on Psalms 34, starting really at verse 15, and our anchor scripture is verse 18. So today we just going to talk a little bit. And so it reads, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry for help. The face of the Lord is set against those who do what is evil, to remove all memory of them from the earth. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. And so this is a reminder that the Lord is near to us who are dealing with situations, and we may find ourselves in a broken place, and our heart may have been broken. And so when it says the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, if we're walking in alignment with God and what we're dealing with, we're still trusting Him in the midst of the process. We're trusting Him with everything that we're going through. We're trusting Him. We may not fully understand, Lord, why am I dealing with this? And why am I going through this? And I'm hurting and I'm broken. And it just seems like you're being hit on all sides. It seems like that you have found yourself in a situation that could be a little confusing, even a little bit perplexed, but yet and still you're still trusting God through the process. And it says that the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous and his ears are open to their cry for help. That when you found yourself in a place where that cry is from the depth of your soul and you have this soul cry, the Lord hears everything that you're going through, and he hears and sees your situation, and his ears is open to you in the midst of that. And that because his ears is open to you, he's surely going to show up and be there for you while you're going through. You may not even see how he's even working out the details in your life. You may not see that he's already handling a situation that you're looking for him to he's already handling it, right? He's already handling your situation. Sometimes we want God to handle things a certain way. We want him to handle it our way. We want him to handle it this way and remove this person and take this person out and switch this up and switch this around. But the reality of it is, he's handling it in a way that's going to equip us. He's handling it in a way that's going to make you better. He's handling it in a way that's going to shape and mold you. And because the Lord is near your broken heart, he's the one that's going to mend your broken heart in that broken space that you may be in. And so I just want to take this moment to just even encourage you, because I know what it's like to be broken. I know what it's like to be in this space, and knowing that when I've cried out, that my tears became my altar. My broken heart became that place that I laid down and said, Lord, I need you to take this situation. That even there are times that I sat in silence and the Lord still heard me. And understand that there's beauty in your brokenness. You may not say, well, Lady Q, I don't see how there's beauty in my brokenness. There's beauty in your brokenness, because when the Lord comes in and begins to fix that situation and you become better, because he gives us beauty for our ashes. And so our ashes is those broken places and broken spaces. And so today we're not going to find ourselves hiding underneath what we're going through. You know how a flower breaks out of the crack, and it's beautiful. We don't even pay attention to the crack. What we're paying attention to is the beauty of the flower, that it's found its way through the crack. And sometimes we got to find our way through the crack where we are blooming, even in the midst of the cracks that are happening. And God is so amazing, because it is God who hands us these possibilities that we may be able to bloom, we may be able to explore, we may be able to reach out, and he's there with us. He's a God that's working wonders in the middle of all the issues and the cracks and the wrecks in our life and things that may seem to be chaotic. And so I just want to share with you this spoken word piece as you meditate on how God is working out the cracks and the ashes and the wreckage and the chaos in your life, because know that he's there with you. I was cracked, fractured from the fall, shattered by shame, held together by silent sobs and Sabbath smiles. The fracture that caused me to fall and the shame that I encountered chipped by choices I wish I could undo, and yet I smiled. I praised, I showed up, and while falling apart in places no one could see, I was a mosaic of masked pain, a silent scream in a sanctuary seat, holding my breath during altar calls, hoping no one would notice the pieces slipping beneath the pews. But then God, He didn't ask me to get it together. He didn't command me to be whole before I came. He met me in the ruins, in the room where grief had unpacked her bags, in the silence after the breakdown, in the shadow where no one else dared to sit. And he whispered with such grace, "Daughter, even now you are mine." He didn't sweep my pieces under some holy rug. He didn't shame me for shattering. He scooped me up one fragment at a time, held every jagged edge in his palm, and said, this is still beautiful. He placed me in his pocket, the secret place under the shadow of the Almighty, where oil flows over wounds and glory covers the gaps. You see, I am not in pieces, I am in process. I am not discarded, I'm being displayed. What they thought disqualified me, God is using to define me. What was shattered by life, God is shaping into testimony, because there's beauty in broken things and there's glory in my healing. My pain has purpose, my tears have power, and my cracks, they let the light shine through. So don't you dare despise your brokenness. Don't you hide your scars like they're shameful. Let the world see the art of God's redemption. Let them witness what love can do with a life that's been through. I'm not just whole, I'm holy. I'm not just restored, I'm refined. And no matter what comes next, I will always be in the pocket, not in pieces. So I want you to reflect on this, that you're not in a bunch of pieces. You're in his pocket, you're covered, you're underneath his wing. There are people that may have looked at you and looked at you a certain way, and they're pointing fingers at you, and you find yourself sitting in church still trying to figure it out. You find yourself sitting in church breaking down, crying on the pew, and you want to slide underneath the pew. But the reality of it is, God wants you to stand in what you're going through, because you have a testimony that's so great that's going to ring through everything that you're dealing with. As I look back over this piece that the Lord has allowed me to bring forward through all that I've gone through, there was moments and times where I would go to church and I was going through things, and I had experienced the people saying things behind my back and still having to still show up and still smile. I didn't show up and smile on my own. I was able to show up because God gave me the strength to show up and to continue to smile, to let the enemy know, oh, I'm not running away from where God would have me to be. I'm not running away from where he would rather me be. You see, people can point fingers and they can mock and they can laugh and they can do all the things, but yet and still, I refuse to give in to those things. And the Lord allowed me to come out stronger. He allowed me to come out better. He allowed me to hold on to some things. So even though I've even had moments of silent screams, and I've had moments where I just wanted to just run into the ruins, but God says, I have you covered, my daughter. You are mine. There's beauty in you because I've already placed it in you. I placed it in you before you was even born. You see, you're going through a process where you're being shined. You're going through a process where some things have to come out of you. You're going through a process where just got to unpack some things so you can get through to your healing. And so I just want you to reflect on that and think about your own life experiences and the things that you've had to deal with and what people have said, and how the Lord gave you strength to endure when you thought you just couldn't do it. I can't do this. I'm ready to quit and I'm ready to give up, and the Lord tells you, nope. Mm-mm. Daughter, even now you are mine. Even when people have rejected you, I have received you. And so I want you to just reflect and meditate on that right there. And, I'm going to come back. We're going to take a quick coffee break, real quick, and I'll be back. Are you searching for more than just a Sunday sermon? Looking for a place where truth isn't just preached but lived? Welcome to Divine Remnant of Truth, where revelation runs deep and the Word of God is taught in context, not convenience. Located at 1725 South Volusia Avenue in Orange City, Florida, under the bold leadership of Bishop Ira Martin, this is more than a church, it's a birthing ground for leaders, intercessors, and truth seekers. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for a soul-shaking evangelistic service. Gather for power on the prayer call every Monday at 7 p.m. and Wednesday at 6 a.m. Then meet us online for a dynamic Zoom Bible study Wednesdays at 7 p.m. This is a house that guards the Sabbath in spirit and in truth. Come grow, come learn, come be transformed. Divine Remnant of Truth, where the truth has a voice and the remnant has a home. It's your girl, Lady Q, and welcome back to Coffee for Your Soul. And so we're going to jump back into Psalms 34. We read verses 15 through 18. And so now what we're going to go a little bit deeper into Psalms 34, where you may feel like you're too broken to be used, but the reality of it is you may feel like you're too broken to be used, but God says that you're perfect. God created you and made you perfect. I shared a piece on something that I went through some years ago where I was going to church and people was pointing fingers and they had a lot of things to say and all of those things, and I could have ran out the church, but I didn't. I refused because I knew that I was rooted in Christ and I knew the Lord would take care of the situation. I didn't have to be consumed by things and stuff, right? I didn't have to be consumed by all the words. Now, I could have been, and that's where the enemy would want me to be. But this is what the Lord began to show me is that he was the one that made me. He instilled all the things in me that was supposed to be instilled in me. And even though that he made me a perfect vessel for his glory, I am functioning in a space that's not perfect, dealing with people that's not perfect, right? So understanding that I'm dealing with people that are not perfect, that means people are coming with all of their baggage, all of their stuff. Um, with all of their issues and areas that they need to be healed in as well. And understanding that even in this process, healing isn't a linear thing. Healing is all about the whole person. It's a holy thing. It's every relationship, everyone we come in contact with, the new people that we meet, how we choose to engage them, where we choose to go within those relationships, how much we're choosing to open up, but yet and still we all deal with some level of brokenness that need to be healed. And so, I've learned through the inner revival, I've learned through going through therapy, and therapy doesn't bring healing. Therapy allows us to get to that space to realize why we do certain things or why we allow certain things. It'll bring us to that space where we're understanding that the little girl cannot protect the adult woman. And so there were things that I was dealing with where my little girl was trying to protect the adult, but it was really about the adult protecting the little girl. And so the therapy led to revelation. Revelation led to me going deeper in prayer in my relationship with the Lord and trusting God for the healing. And so I just wanted to share just a few points with you when it comes to your healing and knowing that you've gone through some things, and sometimes you feel like you completely and utterly by yourself, and why do I have to go through this? Why not you? And yeah, we hear that comment all the time. Why not me? Well, God made you and equipped you to deal with all the things. So understand that God, He never wastes a wound. There's never anything that we go through that's wasteful. Anything that we've had to endure that have brought us hurt, that have brought us pain, God would not put us in a place where it's wasted. It's always a testimony behind what we've gone through. And the Lord is bringing us to this space where He's saying, yeah, you've been wounded. But in the midst of your wounding, there was healing. And in the midst of your healing, now you have a testimony. And so, with that being said, understand that any wound that you've encountered through hurt and pain and people's words and people's actions, it's not wasted. God is not going to waste you. You're just not here by happenstance. He's not wasting anything that you're going through because His glory is going to shine out through all that you're having to deal with. And understand that even though, yeah, you may have been wounded, you can be whole and still healing. There are some things that we go through, right? And we experience. And even though we're whole, there's areas that's still healing. There's things that we still have yet to work on. There's things that the Lord is still shaping and molding through us and in us. And when we understand that, even though I'm whole, I'm still healing. Because again, we're not functioning in a world that's perfect. We're being perfected. Paul says, I have not yet apprehended that which has apprehended me. The Holy Spirit have taken hold of me. I haven't yet reached the goal. I am still striving. I am still persevering, which means I'm not giving up. Could you imagine had Paul given up? Could you imagine the apostles had they given up? We wouldn't even have the word that we have now. We wouldn't be able to walk in the way that we're walking, to be able to trust God and hold on to God in the midst of our situations. We got to be in a space where we're saying, Lord, I trust you. I don't understand. And in the midst of it, Lord, can you give me a little bit more that I can continue to endure, that I may have this strength because I have not yet apprehended that which apprehended me. Lord, you got a hold of me. So when we understand that God has a hold of us, we have to hold on as we're striving to take hold of Him in completeness. And so, also understanding that being in the pocket of God means you're always close to His heart, even in pain, that even in the midst of what you're going through, because again, verse 18, the Lord is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. That means God is near. He has not forgotten about you. He has not left you. He has not forsaken you. The word even tells us that when our parents forsake us, that lets us know that even when those that are closest to us forsake us, therefore they will. The Lord says, I'm right here. I have not forsaken you. I have not left you. I have not turned my back on you. That when you find yourself in this place that you are going through, the Lord is still shaping you in the midst of all that you're going through. But he hasn't forsaken you. He hasn't forgot about you. He hasn't left you. If He's near the brokenhearted and your heart is broken, God is present. He's presently right there. He saves those that are crushed in spirit, which means you going to have to go through some things. Your spirit is going to get crushed, but God is going to save you. That means we have the mentality of, well, if there's such a God, then why do I have to go through this? If there's such a God, why did He let that happen? The word lets us know that our spirit is going to get crushed. It's going to happen. But when it happens, are we continuously leaning on God? Because that's really the test. Are we still leaning on God when our spirit is crushed? Are we still trusting that God is present when our heart is broken? Because our heart will get broke and our spirit will get crushed. But where are we in the midst of it? It's like God asking Adam, where art thou? God already knew where Adam was. He already knew where he was. The question is, did Adam know where he was? So the question is, when we're brokenhearted and our spirit is crushed, do we know where we are? Do we really know that God is near? Do we really know that He's present and He's truly going to save? God was near to Adam and Eve. God saved them by sacrificing an animal and covering them in the long run, but yet they had to go through some things based on the decisions that they've made. We all have to go through some things based on decisions. We all going to go through some things based on other people's decisions because we live in a world that's full of sin and imperfect people. We have not yet taken on perfection. And as long as we understand that we have not yet taken on perfection, that we live in a world of imperfect people, that means we're going to go through some things because living this life is a process. We got to trust the process and trust God in the process. There's a statement that says, the devil is in the details. Well, if the devil is in the details, that means God is even much more in the details. God is even much more in your situation. He's in the micro details of your life on a cellular level. Therefore, the Lord already knew what you would go through. Are you holding on to Him and understanding that He has not forsaken you? So when you go through your day and you think about things, think about the fact that God has not forsaken you. He has not left you. He is near to you. He will save you in the midst of your situation. So you just have to continue to hold on to Him and not give up, not let go, but just hold on to God and watch Him bring you through some things. And so I'm going to move on a little bit and I want you to think about something. And if you want to, you can text me at 386-507-5857, or you can email me at coffeewithladyq@gmail.com. And this is called Truth or Trigger. So I'm going to give you a statement and I want you to ask yourself, is this a truth I believe or a trigger I need to heal? I'm not allowed to rest. Is that a truth or a trigger? But the question that I have for you following that up is, why is it that you cannot rest? If you feel truly that you are not allowed to rest, ask yourself, why is it that I can't rest? What's hindering me from resting? What's keeping me from getting the rest that I need that I may be restored? Did Jesus rest? Did He ever take a break? Or did He just keep going? Did He ever go off by Himself? Or did He always consistently keep Himself around people because He needed to work and work and work and do ministry and do this and do that? Or did He take a break? The next question is, healing is selfish. Is healing selfish? I would say this, not that healing is selfish. Not healing is selfish. Not taking the time to heal is selfish. Not only is it selfish to you, it's selfish to those that are around you. Because when you find yourself in a broken space, like a lot of us, we can project where we are onto other people. So I just want you to be in a healed space, not a space telling yourself that you can't heal because that's selfish. Being selfish is not healing. Being your best self is where God will want you to be, in Him. Allow the Lord to heal you in the things that you've gone through. Being selfish to yourself and others is not acknowledging that you need healing and not taking the steps that you need in order to be healed. So I'm gonna take a quick break, right quick. Take a quick coffee break. I'll be right back.
It's more than poetry, more than performance. This is Soul Speak Saturdays. So pull up to Soul Speak Saturdays every third Saturday at Arome Art Cafe, where the mic is hot, the poetry is bold, and the coffee, Whoo, the coffee is anointed. It's the open mic that feels like therapy, brunch in a block party all in one, hosted by your girl, Lady Q. This is where your soul gets stirred, your voice gets heard, and your spirit gets fed. Laugh, cry, snap, sip, and leave better than you came. At 2869 Wilshire Drive, Suite 103, Orlando, Florida. Doors open at 6 p.m. The vibe starts the minute you walk in. Soul Speak Saturdays, where your words matter, your presence heals, and the mic is waiting. Glow 365 TV shows presents Coffee for Your Soul, where Jesus meets you right at the table. This isn't just a podcast, it's a pour over of peace, an espresso shot of truth, a cappuccino of comfort through real stories, and a mocha of sweet poetic grace. We sip, we stir, we seek the Savior. So whether you're in your car, your kitchen table, or in a moment of chaos, let this be your invitation to be still, be seen, and be stirred. So join Coffee for Your Soul every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the People's Chat Room, and every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on iTunesRadio.com and on YouTube at Coffee for Your Soul and Glow 365 TV shows. Coffee for Your Soul, a spiritual awakening, one cup at a time.
It's your girl, Lady Q, and I am back. Um, we were talking about truth or trigger before we went on commercial break, and so we're back. We're going to keep talking about truth or trigger. Is it a truth or is it a trigger? You can text me at 386-507-5857 and tell me um, what's a truth or a trigger to you. And, if you would like to share, by all means, please share with me. Or you can email me at coffeewithladyq@gmail.com. And so we're going to keep moving on with truth or trigger. The third one that I'm going to ask, if I ask for help, I'm weak. Now, when I think about this one like kind of hits home for me because um I used to be one that didn't really ask for help. I didn't like to ask for help. I didn't like asking people for help because I felt like if I asked you for help, then you're going to ask me a bunch of questions, or it made me feel like I was not capable of doing what I was supposed to do. It made me feel like I couldn't get the job done, or somebody would question where I am. And so this for me definitely is not a truth. It was definitely a trigger because it would trigger a lot of things in me. And so I didn't know how to, really balance things out. It got to the point to where I was doing a lot because I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know, again, learning to balance things. And I have a young man that's like a son to me, and he would come up to me and say, I watch you every week at church, and I watch you every week do what you do. And I think you're doing too much. And he was very verbal about telling me how much I did, and how much I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. And I used to get upset because I thought, okay, well, I can't really do all of this stuff, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure out how to make it work. And I'm going to do this thing because I'm not going to ask for help. I'm not going to tell anybody I need help. And I'm not going to tell anybody no either. Because that's the other thing. If I say no, I'm weak, right? Or if I ask for help, I'm weak. And so these were the things that I believe a lot of people struggle with, especially people who are always trying to help. You're willing to sacrifice yourself and set aside yourself for other people. You're willing to stop doing what you need to do to take care of you for other people. And so, in the midst of processing truth or trigger, and this is a trigger, like I was having a hard time saying no, and I was having a hard time asking for help. And so it got to a point to where my plate was stacked high. Like it was stacked high, y'all. That plate was so stacked high. And by the plate being so stacked high, eventually that plate cracked. Eventually that plate was like, okay, you doing way too much. You can't balance all the things and stuff. And so that led to me sitting down with my pastor and having a conversation with him. And really he was like, okay, so I need you to share with me all the things that you're doing. When I tell you, just in church alone, I had a 4-page list of what I was doing, because what I did is I listed the things and all the duties, because this also helped me understand the depth and magnitude of the things that I was taking in. And so this is something that I believe that all of us can learn from. Take and write down what you do, but not only in essence of a title of what you do. Take the time and write down what are all the duties that's required for what you're doing, because that really tells you the truth of how full your plate is. I knew the list of things. I do this, I do this, I do this. And it was the functional category of what I was doing, but it wasn't the details or the duties within the functional category. So I took the time to make this list. And then when I sat down with him and I was like, I got like 4 pages. And these were not things that I did at home. These were not wifely duties. These were not motherly duties. These were not things that hobbies and other things that I was doing. These were things that only I was doing within the church and for the church. And I kept saying yes to things because I saw things that needed to be done. And I just kept saying yes, yes, yes. And the yes became too many yeses. And so when we sat down together and I said, okay, this is my list, he said, okay, so what is it that, you are willing to let go of? And what is it that, you still desire to do? And so we having a conversation and I'm saying, okay, I'm willing to let go, but in my heart, I'm hesitating because I don't want to tell him that I'm willing to let go of anything, because my concern is, well, what's going to happen? This is the thing. We can get so caught up in concern about things that we can say yes to so many things that it will even cause for us to be broken. I was being broken because of my own choices to say yes to everything, my own choices to not say no, my own choices to not ask for help, my own choices to do all the things and stuff. And it became a huge burden on me because I wasn't saying no and I wasn't asking for help. And so, with that being said, I had to say, okay, I can let go of this. And he said, okay, well, you're going to let go of that. And you're going to let go of this. And you're going to let go of this. Going to let go of that. And he was like, I think you'll be great in this area, in this area. So, all of that was on one page that he was asking me to do. And although it was a release, it didn't feel so, because if you're so used to saying yes to everyone, and so you're used to compromising yourself for people and not, I'm compromising and, oh, I did this for you, it was a genuine, this needs to be done, I would step up to the plate and do it. So it was very hard for me to let go. Like, initially I felt out of place when I showed up the following week, and all the things that I was used to doing I was released from. I felt out of place for about a whole month. And so I share that because we can say, I want to let go of things, or, I'm doing too much. But the reality of it is, we become broken by our own choices. And in the midst of that brokenness, we now have to reground ourselves. We need to figure out where we're supposed to be, right? So that's what I was going through, trying to figure out that space. And so I say this because I want people to grow. I want people to be in a better place. Some things I just don't want people to experience what I've gone through. So I encourage you to get a notebook and begin to write not only what you do, but the duties of what you do. Because when you do that and you take a step back, the Lord will begin to show you what you're doing, what you need to let go of, where you need to be released. Because how can God take you to the next level if you're being broken by choice because you refuse to let go? And He's saying, you got to let go in order for me to take you to the next level. That's just like if, for instance, if you was on a playground swinging on the monkey bars. Remember back in the day when you was little swinging on the monkey bars, right? Because that's what we called them back then. But um, swinging, you can't get across unless you let go of one of the bars that you're holding on to. And as you swing forward, you have to let go. And if you don't let go, you lose momentum. If you don't let go, you can't get to the other side. If you hold on too long, you'll end up having to let go. You'll end up having to open up your hands and release because your hands will start hurting. And so, even in the spirit, we have to learn to let go when it's time to let go so that we can go to the next level. We also got to know how to let go because God at times will give us a momentum, a flow to flow into. And when He puts us in the stream that we're supposed to be in and we're supposed to flow in that, are you willing to go with the flow that the Lord has for you? Or are you going to hold on to where you was and it's going to cause you to slip and fall? I dare not. So, in essence, there are times where the Lord is saying, I have a momentum for you. You can't even get in the stream of that momentum because you won't let go. You have to let go and swing forward so you can get to the other side. And it goes back to Paul saying, I have not yet apprehended that which apprehended me. Therefore, I press towards the mark of the high calling. And that high calling is Christ Jesus. That high calling is getting to the end result. But while I'm going through this life, there are things that I am going to have to let go of in order to stay within the momentum that God has. There are things that I'm going to have to let go of so that I don't find myself broken in certain areas. There are things that I'm going to have to let go of that even in my brokenness that the Lord can heal my heart. Understand, we all need help at some point and we all have to say no sometimes. No can be more powerful, right? Oftentimes, if we think we're going to say no, we're feeling bad. That's self condemnation. That's nothing but the enemy trying to keep you in a space because he doesn't want you to move forward. Therefore, why allow yourself to be in a space of self condemnation when God says, I have something greater for you? And yes, you have to be broken through the process, but yet and still, if you keep moving forward, know that I am present with you. I'm going to take care of your situation because I am present with you. You're not going to have to worry about it because I got you. And so I encourage you, learn to say no, learn to ask for help. When things get overwhelmed and you need help, it's okay. You're not weak for asking for help because help brings strength. Help brings encouragement. Help brings other perspectives that help strengthen you up for the journey. It takes more than one cord. A three-cord strand is not easily broken. Well, if it was only one, then therefore it's easily broken. But if it's three, it's definitely much harder to break. Therefore, understanding that you need help for the journey. And so the last one I have is I have to be strong for everybody, dude. And that goes in alignment with needing help and saying no. Do you really have to be strong for everybody? Is that a truth or a trigger? It's really not a truth. It's a trigger because the word says that even when I am weak, you are strong. That means that we all have weak spaces. I can't be strong for everybody, even though I feel like I have to be a lot of times. Definitely being a mom. A mother's thought process is, I have to be strong for my kids. I have to be strong for my family. I have to be strong. I can't let my kids see me broken. I can't let my kids see me down. The reality of it is, if your children never see the reality and the truth, then how are we setting our children up for life when it's time for them to move out in life and go through life experiences? Are they going to have the mindset, my mom never cried, I never seen my mom go through anything, so I got to be strong? We're giving them a false sense of reality, that the Lord even lets us know that even when we are weak, then we are strong, because we have to lean on Him in order to be strong. So with that being said, if I got to lean on God for strength, I definitely can't be strong for everybody. I don't have that for everyone else. I don't have what everyone else is seeking and need and all the things and stuff. And so with that being said, I have to learn how to not tell myself I got to be strong for everybody. Because if my strength comes from the Lord, I can give you what God has given me, or point you to the one who gives you the strength that you may endure the process. I don't have the strength. I'm tapped into the source of where the strength comes from, right? I have to be tapped into the source. I don't have the strength within my body, within my flesh, but I do have the strength in Jesus that I may be able to make it through. So, no, I can't be strong for everybody. Sometimes Lord, it's just me and you. God, I just need you. I just need you with everything that I have, and I can't deal with everybody else's stuff. Sometimes I got to tell people no. Sometimes I have to ask for help, because I just don't have the strength that it would take to get through. And so I want you to think about that, and as you write this week, whichever one you want to be a journal prompt, that you may begin to meditate on it. And I'll go back over them. It says, I'm not allowed to rest. If I ask for help, I'm weak. I have to be strong for everybody. Healing is selfish. Take the time to meditate on those. And if you want to share, again, you can text me at 386-507-5857, or you can email me at coffeewithladyq@gmail.com. That's your truth or trigger for this week. And please share it with me, because I really want to know like what you think, or what input you may have, because we all are learning from each other. So I'm always open to somebody else's perspective, thought process, or what the Lord has revealed to you. We're going to take a quick coffee break, and I'll be right back.
Been here since day one.
Glow 365 presents The Mia Allman Show, stirring it up every week with real talk, bold interviews, and powerful stories of healing and truth for Beyond the Surface, the Unfiltered Journey series, airing Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on thepeopleschatroom.com, hosted by yours truly, Master Coach Lady Mia. Then catch the vibes again Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for Callaloo for the Caribbean Soul 365 on iTunesRadio.com, with island flavors, voices of the diaspora, to what's cooking in the Dutch pot, upcoming events, and conversations that stir your soul. So whether you're home, on the move, or vibing from yard to abroad, grab some tea, some coffee, or some tamarind juice, and let's get real, raw, and rooted. Watch current and past episodes on YouTube at Glow 365 TV shows, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, where real conversation inspire real change.
It's your girl, Lady Q, and welcome back as we come down towards the wire of Coffee for Your Soul. And so there are just a few things that I want to share with you, and things that I want you to really think about as you go through this week. And so I really wanted to give you like a soul application, something for you to focus on, since we were talking about Psalms 34. today and talking about how the Lord is near the brokenhearted and those that are crushed in spirit. And so, your soul application for this week, this is something I want you to really meditate on and write down. One area where you feel fractured. You've experienced some things in your life, and there's one area in your life that you really, really feel like you're fractured in. You haven't been thrown away. You just feel fractured, a space that needs healing, right? And so when you think about a bone being fractured, it goes through a process. It has to be reset. That's painful. It has to be casted. That means there's a time of setting and waiting and being patient with your leg up and elevated because of the swelling, and the bone has to be regenerated and it has to begin to grow back together. And during that time, you can't put any weight on that area that's been fractured, but yet and still the cast keeps it immobilized, keeps it still. And then it comes a point in time that the cast comes off. And let's say you fractured your leg or your ankle or something like that. And so now you have to learn how to put pressure on it all over again. You may have to learn how to walk it out, and somebody has to coach you through the process and help you, because now you're going through physical therapy until you can get back up really and walk by yourself. And there's so many other details in between that, but this is what I want you to think about is when you write down in that area that you feel fractured, invite God into that space, right? So God is the one that's going to heal wherever the fracture is. But at the same time, you may have to be still, just like the fractured leg that's being elevated and it's in a cast and it's immobilized. God is maybe saying to you, it's time for you to sit still. In this hurt space that you're going through, you can't really go and do other things because you need this space to heal. The word says, be still and know that I am God. Be still in the midst of your situation. Know that He is a sovereign God that knows what you're going through, but also knowing that He is a healer. He's going to take care of whatever it is that you're dealing with. So you may need to be still in the midst of the fracture being healed. And then when it's time to move, you're going to have to lean on God for strength. You're going to have to lean on God to move in. But when it's time for you to move and you lean on God, just like you had to lean on crutches for a broken leg, you lean in on God and you listen for the direction and the guidance, just like you would when you go to physical therapy. And the doctors and the nurses, you listen for the guidance of those that the Lord has around you to give you the guidance you need to get through your process. When you go to the doctor's office, you talk to the nurse, right? And you give the nurse all your symptoms. And this is what I've been dealing with. And this is what since my last checkup, this is what I've gone through. There are others around you where they will sit with you and listen to what you're dealing with. But you got to trust God that when you get into the room after you've talked to the nurse and the nurse and taken everything, then you go sit down, and then here comes the doctor and goes through all the things with you. The Lord is sitting, listening for everything that you are going through and everything that you're dealing with. And when He sends people your way to help you, listen for Him and listen for Him through them, that you may get the guidance that you need, the help that you need to walk it out. And even when you go through physical therapy, sometimes the physical therapist will say, put the crutches down. I need you to lean on me because I need to put a little bit more pressure on what was broken once. And so with that being said, you're going to have to trust God enough to say, okay, it's time for me to let go. It's time for me to stand up. And I had to put a little bit pressure on this space that was once fractured, which means there's some things that you may encounter that was once a trigger. So now you need to find out whether or not it's still a trigger. That don't mean you got to go test it yourself because the enemy is going to do it anyway. Are you ready and prepared? Was you listening for the instructions and the guidance that when it comes, that the Lord can show you that you're even stronger than what you were before, that then it comes a point that you can just get up and you can walk. But not only are you going to be able to walk, because you have gone through a process and you were obedient to the waiting and the stillness and all the instructions that the Lord gave you was obedient to those things, then now you can really walk in strength and in power. There's a lot to be learned. So write down that one area you feel fractured. Invite God in. Don't try to fix it. You don't try to fix it. Just place it in his hand. Put it in his pocket. Quit putting it in yours. Put it in his pocket. And let the Lord do whatever the Lord is going to do, and understand that God is near. He sees you. So you are fully seen, fully heard, fully loved, fully felt, and the fullness of his presence is with you. So knowing that the Lord is restoring you in the midst of what has been broken, and you got to know that you are not the pieces of the things that you've gone through. You are in progress, not in pieces. So when you realize that you're in progress and not in pieces, the Lord is going to take care of your situation. And God is holding every part of you together. You're in progress. You're not in pieces. So until next time, I want you to stay brewed in boldness, steeped in healing, and filled with purpose, because we all go through things. But you got to stay in that place where you are staying in Him regardless of what it looks like. You are staying in him no matter what it is. So, you know, um, until next time. And my mug for today says, all I need today is a little bit of coffee and a whole lot of Jesus. So every day, all I need is a little bit of coffee to give my body a physical jolt and a whole lot of Jesus to get me through the chaoticness that's in this world. And I'll read Psalms 34:18 again. And it reads in the CSB version, the Lord is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. He's near and he saves. He's near and he saves. He is near and he saves. So I want you to know that the Lord is near and he truly saves. And, just hold on to that. And so I'll see you next week. I'll talk to you next week in earshot. You have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Please stop by the People's Chat Room and iTunes Radio and Coffee for Your Soul and Glow 365 TV shows. This has been an amazing, amazing show. There's some adjustments coming. And so as the episodes keep rolling, there's going to be some adjustments. So be patient with your girl, Lady Q. And you can come on out and join me in Orlando every third Saturday for Soul Speak Saturdays. If you have a gift, a talent, a hobby, please come on out and join me with your gift, your talent, or your hobby. If you just want to come sit and listen, then come sit and listen. We had an amazing time the last Soul Speak Saturday. We absolutely enjoyed. It was definitely a blessing. I enjoyed every aspect of it, every person that showed up, every person that participated. The food is amazing at Arome Art Cafe. If you are an artist, you can come put your art on the wall. And he asked for no commission, no nothing. So if you come and put your art on the wall, whatever your art is sold for, you get 100% of your art. So please, please, please come and join us at a Rome Art Cafe in Orlando, Florida. And also, again, if you're looking for a church home, Stop by Divine Remnant of Truth at 1725 South Volusia Avenue under the direction of Bishop Ira Martin. You can find Divine Remnant of Truth on Facebook, on Instagram, and check us out. Please come on out and join us. And, he's definitely a pastor that digs deep into the word, into the context of the word. And so oftentimes you may hear me use the word context. I use the word context because um, Pastor Martin is all about context. And so I'm grateful for his depth of teaching. There's truly none like him. Am I biased because he's my pastor? Yes, but I'm even more biased because he teaches the word in spirit and in truth, and he teaches the word in context, not what one thinks or one's perspective. He's a human being, so he may give his perspective, but he's going to give you more of what the truth is. And so again, that's 1725 South Volusia Avenue, Orange City, Florida. Come join us on Sundays for our evangelistic service at 11 a.m. and come see your girl, Lady Q. And until next time, you all be blessed.
That's a wrap on this brew. But don't let the pour stop here. Walk bold, live healed, sip slow. This is Coffee for Your Soul, where faith is hot, truth is strong, and Jesus is always in the room. Catch you next time.